Hello, traders. John at StockBookie.com. Today we're doing a live session. It's 3 o'clock in Arizona, 11/16/2016. And we're going to take a look at the SPY, NVIDIA, IBB, Amazon. We can look at BABA, Goldman Sachs, a couple of the shorts we took. We do have a Twitter page. If you want, come on, join that. Let me know what your handle is, and we'll get you on board. And let's take a look at a couple other ones too. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's get right into the SPY. The usual suspects. So again, we have this trend line up here. We got above it yesterday. We're trying to hold it. Let's see if we can stay above that. Technically, it is bullish. You're above all the moving averages. And you're still not into this gap fill. I want to see this gap filled, but maybe we don't do it. But a couple days bullish consolidation. I'd like to see a wedge coming in the price, this 20 MA curling up and then possibly sending it higher. We'll see if that happens. If not, then I'm expecting, you know, if this thing gets a move up, it's not going to be that vicious, but you never know. When we hit support down here, look at the blast off. Remember, this was all Trump. I think we had 2 days up. Where was the election? Right here. Okay, election was right here. Remember, if Trump wins, the markets are going to dump, and then look what they did. So everybody took a chance going short, got squashed, big volume, squeezing it up, brought it almost to the all-time highs again, and boom. Hey, what's up, James? How's it going, bud? And here we are again, just chopping around. We're above this trend line. It's not the best trend line in the world. I have it there just in case. You know what? I'm going to put one here too. So I like this little pivot. I want to see this thing stay above this area, and then possibly make a run for the roses and get above the possibly 220. Who knows? We'll see. It's looking a little bit tired to me, but at this point we're at options X. Anything can happen. I mean, you have stocks whipsawing up and down. One day they're up $4, next day they're down $4. Then today they're going sideways. It's a little bit insane. Let's get into the IWM. IWM 1 cent down again. Blast off, really good volume too, but come on, let's see some more follow through here. We get right to double top, which is around 129.10, and that's pretty much it. You know, we're chopping around. We have a little doji candle here, nothing great, but see how the volume's disappearing. So we're still floating here. Yeah, phone's ringing. That's yelling again. Here, let me go get it. No, I don't even know what it is. What time is it? 3 o'clock. It's who knows? But you know, maybe we do a little bit more like this. What happened the last couple months, where they just, you know, you buy puts down here, they jam it up to there, and then if you're out to January, February, you're doing okay. But you know, at the same time, if they hold it here like they did, you know, in the last, oh gosh, 3 months or so, then it'll just deplete the puts, and then you know, they'll be worthless like always. So. Let's see here. Hi, John, using my son Google. Hey, what's going on, bud? And do you see MLM hitting 205 in the next 2 weeks? You know, I don't know. We'll look at that one in a second here. All right, let's go to the weekly on the IWM. You know, it's still only Wednesday, yeah. So I want to see it close above this all-time high and a little more, and I want to see some follow through next week. And I'm a believer if this one goes. Honestly, I'm not a believer. I'm still bearish on the markets, but you get a move like this. This is almost reminds me of the Brexit move. You know, same thing. Just get it higher, get it high, get as high as you can. So if Yellen raises rates in December, then when it falls, it's not going to be that bad of a correction. That's the way I'm seeing it. But you know, because this thing was leading real nice here. You know, came in, hit the pivot, came in, hit the pivot, came down. You know, I was expecting at least a little bit lower here than maybe a long, but never made it, and boom, right back up. So let's go into MLM. MLM, we've been shorted this one a little bit, you know, a little bit ago. We shorted here, we took our profits, and then blast off again. We're above this trend line here, and so far it's pulling back nice. You know, moves like this, you can't really. I have a mathematical equation to see how high these things can go, but sometimes they go too high. You know, they start ripping. We did get above this, ripped a little higher, and then boom, and then just straight back down. Again, this one was a high flyer. Let's see here. No, I can't right now. There's really no pattern on this other than an extended move. So honestly, you know, we'll see. We'll see if we get below this trend line, possibly tomorrow. You're going to have some support around 213. you know, 209, you know, the Fibonacci, you got the gap fill around 201 or so. But, you know, honestly, if the, you know, if the markets start to sell this, I easily, I think we could get to 200, you know, maybe by Friday. No, I'm just kidding with that. But no, if the markets start to dump, this thing's going to come down because, you know, you look at the monthly. Let's look at the monthly on this one. Screen is a little fuzzy. No, it should be okay. Looking good to me. Everyone hear my voice? Everyone's screen looks good. It should be 720. Everything, I didn't change anything, so everything should be pretty good still. Well, you're on your son's thing. Maybe there's something something up there with your son's YouTube account or whatever the heck it is. It's been a long day, guys. I did a lot of driving, met with some people this morning, but a little bit fried. But you know, I thought I'd do a little live session. This is what I'm looking at on the monthly too. I want to see if we could close above this trend line. You know what? Let me stick this one in there a little bit better. Because at the end of the day, you know, this could be a massive head fake here, and they're going to just stick it to everybody. Just like Goldman, just like JPM, just like all these. You watch, all of a sudden, all this bad news is going to start coming out, and they're already telling everyone, you know, the Trump rally, I don't know. You know, 3 weeks ago was if Trump wins, it's going to be a disaster, and now if Trump wins, we get a 5-day rally up. I mean, Josh, yeah. Put it on HD, James. Looks okay to me. Screen a little fuzzy. What's up, Nick? No, when you hit full screen. Okay, let me try that, Nick. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I think you gotta switch it or something. I'm not really sure. Well, yeah. So let's see if we could close. If we could get below, you know, this trend line, say around 215 to 14, I think we have a little more room to, you know, come in. Got to remember, guys. Look where the 20 MA is. It's at 164. Eventually, we're going to be down. You know, we'll probably hit double top at 205. You're going to have a lot of resistance around 205, 209, 210. So we'll see how this thing goes. We're going to need the market to dump out as well to help the matter in this short. So at the end of the day, this is where we need to get under. We're going to have support here, support there. So to answer your question, you're saying 2 weeks, I think. Was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks from now? Maybe, you know. We just need the market. The market dumps. I think we could be at 200 and 185, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, it's one step at a time. But yeah, this I think will be nice. This one starts coming in, it's going to be lights out. Just like NVIDIA, guys. Just like, yeah, some guy, yeah, we'll do IBB, oil and gold. Yeah, you know I always do the oil and gold at least at night. But yeah, just like, let's look at NVIDIA, guys. Yeah, getting creamed a little bit on this one, but you know what? I'm holding it. It's just another high flyer. And if you are short with this with me, great, just hang on to it. If you're not short this one, start adding here. Please, 100 shares, 200 shares, something. Options, gosh, I'm being really, really patient with the options, guys. You know, kind of like Netflix. Remember Netflix? We waited patiently with that one with the options. We started with shares. You know, we took the options off. I started covering some of the shares on Netflix. But yeah, I mean, see how this thing's destroying the puts right now? Just holding up here. We get this little thrust here. This would have been the day to possibly add, you know, small one put, maybe go a 95, maybe 90. You know, I don't know. Is there 91, 92? I haven't looked at this one yet. But I'm just trying to be patient to see if we can squeeze up a little bit more. Then I'll start putting some puts on to protect my short. I'm in right around 79 bucks, I think it is, 78 bucks, 78.50, something like that. I don't know, but like I said, I'm going to be married to this one a little bit. But I want to catch some puts, or if we get a nice kick up, I'll write some calls, one or the other. I like to see NVIDIA. Yeah, you know, bought some puts today. Yeah, there you go. You know, I'm trying to wait. I want to see if we could get 1 or 2 more days because they're, I guess, CNBC's hyping this one up today. Someone sent me an email saying, they're talking about that one again. So let's see, you know, because all right, look at that one, and then look at Netflix too. As Netflix was going up, I was adding shares, but then right on this push up, we did some puts. Right on that push up, we added some puts, and then boom, unfortunately I sold them here. But it was like a $1,000 gain, so I was out. So then look at that. If I would have held on a little bit more, it would have been probably a $2,500 gain. So again, I don't go huge positions in puts, but you know what? If I can make a grand, 500 bucks, and you know, if you follow me, you know how I am. So December 95, December, yeah, those aren't bad. I wouldn't even mind going out till January, to be honest with you, and letting it run. I mean, on NVIDIA, that is. Because, man, if she raises those rates, we might get the same action we did last year around December, where she raised rates and come the new year, we had, what, 12 days of brutal selling. So we got to watch for that. So if you're doing anything with puts, take your time on this. Sometimes they're going to float it like they're doing now. They pushed it up. So, these puts are getting destroyed right now. You get one more push up, you got to do it. You got to at least add one, $500, whatever, one contract of maybe a 95 right in there. I'd possibly go January though, but it depends if you're playing more short term or going to ride it out until to see if she raises rates and the whole market's tanked, because these markets tank. They're all going down, guys, period. All right, let's look at the IBB. IBB starts nothing yet. You still have a little bit of a bullish pattern up here. Like I said, I would have liked to seen this up and then pull back in like a wedge and then into the moving averages and let it go. When it comes up and just starts to go, look at the volume on the IBB just disappearing, guys. So now all the buyers bought up here. They're all sucked in and they're all sitting around going, man, when is this thing going to go higher? We started adding shorts right around 290. I think we did 292, a couple bucks higher, 289 we added, then 292 in here. It's all on Twitter, guys, this position. And if you want to come on Twitter, send me an email, tell me who you are, tell me your handle, and I'll let you in. I have like 12 followers that want to come in, but I just don't know who you guys are. We had the troll the other day in the room, so I just don't want to let anybody in there that's just going to spam us and just write crap after crap where I can't follow what you guys are saying when we're doing the chat room and stuff like that. I'm just having zero tolerance at this point. Someone's going to make a smart ass remark or talk shit, I'm blocking them. I don't care anymore. If you want to follow me, great. If you don't want to take my trades, great. I had another guy talking shit about me adding to my SPY, and we're like 15 cents out of the money now. Oh, you're getting your ass kicked, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, whatever, dude. We'll talk in a week and we'll see where we're at. Again, for me, guys, it's just another trade. Yeah, but you know what, Calvin? I like the small chat rooms, but you know what? If we could get 100 people in here with eyes and the same thinking like we do with the charts and watching for stretch plays, looking for head and shoulders, we can make a lot of money in here. And then hopefully I can look at the chart and give the blessing and bam, we could kick some ass and make some, I'm all about making money, guys. I don't care. That's why, like on my puts or my calls, if I make 500 to $1,000, boom, I'm out. But if I do 20 of those positions a month and I make $1,000 on each one, it's 20G, guys. 20 grand a month. So, if I make a little more, hey, great, whatever. But, if I get 30 trades that month, even better. So, but yeah, IBB, we're up into the 750. We did fill the gap. We filled the gap up here too. This gap's been filled. I mean, you still have this $300. That's why we started adding slow with share size here. I'm waiting to put on hold on a minute. I do have one. Yes, I did start nibbling on the IBB when it pushed up here with a put. So I am in puts. Hold on. Gosh, it's been a week, guys. Let me tell you. Yeah, I have one. Gosh, hold on. What the hell do I have? I have IBB December 16th, 295. That's what I have. I have one put. So, and I'm in the money right now. So, yeah, we put it on right here. I'm already in the money. So, you know what? Again, if I make 500 grand, I'm taking it off. I have shares of this one short. I'm going to clean house on that one too. So I could really care less. It's all about making money, guys, and taking your profit. That's it. Yeah, I don't care. It's a $1,000 position or $1,100 position or hold on, $1,300 position right in there. Yeah, actually $1,350. So yeah, it's nothing big deal. You play it, if it goes to zero, I lose 1,300 or whatever my initial investment was. I'm up a couple hundred on it already. So, but let's see here. Yeah, so it is a bullish stance. You're above the MAs, but you're into this big resistance. You're big, it's big overhead resistance. All this is resistance. This was this high pivot. That's gonna not. It went through price already. You got to just keep an eye on it. Nothing crazy. I mean, it's right there right now. But I'm thinking if this thing turns around and starts to drop, if I get a $10 move with my shares, I'm going to be half out. If we get another 10, I'm going to be out. Maybe it goes down to here, but it's looking pretty good at this point, guys. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I want to see the weekly close on this one. That's going to tell me a little bit more. We got 2 more days on the weekly. and then we'll take it from there, because we are above all the MAs again. But see this big breakdown bar? That's where it's having some problems. I mean, they look, but they pushed it up, try to get it higher. Got they got everybody on board here. There goes the IBB. It's going to be great. Hop on board. It's kind of like dry ships, guys. How about that one today? Everyone's buying up at the highs and then they halt it. Now it's who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So I was telling everybody pretty much every other hour, take your profits, take your profits, take your profits. Take something. I don't care. Take half off the table, something. Now you can wake up to a disaster, or maybe it goes straight up to 140 gap fill. But yeah, so right now we got to see what we close on the weekly. I'd like to see it close above here, 294, if you're going to get more up move. But at this point, it doesn't look like it. I think it's going to reverse out. When you get an up move like this, you're going to have to get a pullback. Period. I mean, this thing was at 147, almost to $350 up in 4 days because of Hillary Clinton loss. Come on. Appreciate you teaching. Still making me much money needed. Self-employed and cancer. Oh yeah, man. Hey Joshua, no problem. Hey man, that's what I'm here for. A little bit at a time. That's why I say you get a profit in something. Like Goldman Sachs pulled back pretty nice. We pulled our short-term trade off. Yeah, it might go down more. I still have a swing trade on that. I'm gonna take some profits. I actually have a couple puts on that one too. But puts are in the money at this point as well. If it pulls back a little bit more, I'm taking my puts off. You know what? I'll take, I said a couple grand here, a couple grand there, 5 grand here. Out, done. I'm not sitting around. Do that 10 times a month, 50 grand a month. It's got to be stupid. I'm going to be a long-term trader. And then you get dry ships that moves up like 900%, and people are, it's going to go higher. Really? Well, now you're stuck in it on a halt. God knows what's going to happen. I don't even know. I looked a little bit, and repeat what you said about rates raising. Oh no! If Janet Yellen raises the rates in December, we could get exactly what we had in. Hold on, let me finish the IBB though. Yeah, the IBB right now, it's still strong, still in a bullish stance. Let's see if we can consolidate a little bit longer, then possibly more upside. If you are in some share sizes here, next place to add is around the 300, 301. If it really starts to go, then we're going to stop out and wait for the 340 area. There's a gap fill right around 340. All right, right up in this area. Because yeah, if it gets past these pivots, this pivot's been holding pretty damn good. But if it blasts through it, then it's probably going to break through. But at this point, I love the downside action. I want to see some more follow through tomorrow, man. If we could get another $5-6 down tomorrow, then we're coming into some support. You could possibly get a bounce. Watch for the overall markets, guys. If the markets made money off of Tesoro, yeah, right. That one came in really nice. All right, so yeah, so right now, just hang on to this one. Let's see. There again, bullish pattern, a little bit stretched though. You're away from the 20 MA. I still believe it could come down, but right now it's setting up to go up. But we'll see. I've seen this crap before where it goes up, rolls over, and comes right back in. So let's see here. JPM short today. Yeah, that one's coming in. I'm a little bit underwater on that one, but that's okay. LABD. Yeah, exactly. That one too. Hold on here. I got to go back a little bit, guys. All right, so that was the IBB, the USO. Let's talk about that one. I'm a little bit behind on these. Oh, hold on. USO. Yeah, USO, it's options X too, guys. This is where the real Shark Week, they're making stuff going up and down. They want stuff to expire worthless. These institutions don't want to pay any money out, to be honest with you. So they're trying to line this stuff up perfectly. And they know, with all their algorithms, their computer programs, they know exactly where they have to be on all these stocks to make the most options worthless. So they don't have to pay anything out. It's pretty much as simple as that. So when you get a 65 million day on the SPY and no conviction either way, they're making stocks go up and down. The big institutions, Yellen, hedge funds to a certain extent, but the big money banks, those are the guys that are moving markets, guys, period. And the central bankers too. But right now, it's still in a bearish manner. You got to bounce because you came into this gap fill here the other day. Look, a gap fill, then you have some low pivots here. And, the even number of $10 too was resistance, and then 950. Well, I would have loved to have seen that pivot hit, but never made it. But see how they got above this pivot as well? They carried this pivot, and then it filled the gap. So you're going to get some. Then it, bounced up back into here. You got the 20 MA. So I'm expecting possibly more bearish consolidation and then the next move down. But we'll see. If it could get above the moving averages again, then maybe more upside. But with the, one thing to look at is the UUP, that's the dollar. This thing's just ripping. I mean, until this thing, until this stops, I think oil can have some more downward pressure depending on what's going on. When this thing pulled back, this was your opportunity to get in. We've been long the dollar. We did cover it. We did take, we're out of the position now, but I'm still thinking 26.13, a little bit more. And if it really starts to go, I think there's another pivot. Yeah, there's a pivot 26.49. So, we're starting to hit those. You have a gap fill, then the pivot, then another gap fill, then another pivot. So I think oil has still a chance to, or the UUP still has a chance to go up. And that tells me oil's going to have a chance to go down. And the other thing is, too, if the markets start to break down, the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, oil will go down, gold will go down, everything's going down. And that's when we're going to, start buying more gold as well. So that's that one. And then the GLD, let's look at that one real quick. Yeah, GLD, I mean, this thing's setting up to go down. We did add a little bit of a position. If you've been following me and going to my live room, we've been talking about this gap fill for a long time now. When this thing popped up, we thought we were going to miss it. And look, think again, guys. I was like, damn, there goes gold. We're going to miss. And then when Trump won, the gold was ripping. It was like, but look at that. Right back to where we talked about, guys. We've been talking about this one for weeks. I'm still thinking if this thing sets up sideways, bearish consolidation, nice retrace, man, I'm still thinking 112.40 and maybe 110. Man, if we could get around 110, oh my gosh, that will be a gift. Or even start, we added here, we're going to add here, and I'll add more here. And I'll leave a little bit left just in case if we fill some gaps down in this area. But let's get to the point. You're in at 110, 107 in here. I mean, to go to double bottom, maybe. But yeah, let's see how this thing sets up. See if we can have one more good push down, and then we'll start buying. Like I said, we had this thing at $100.50 right here in December. Right there, man. We sold like right around 107. Yeah, that sucked. It went to 121, and then it pulled back and it even went higher. But that's okay. We had a bunch of shares down here, so. But that's why just slow and steady, guys. Like I said, good time to short VLTC. If I'm behind here, guys. So VLTC, I'll catch up. VLTC, let's see. Is that it? VLTC? I don't follow these too much. Only 1 million traded on the day. Yeah, I mean this trade. I can't. There's nothing to do with this. I mean, I could give you areas. If it goes maybe at 856 right there. But I don't even know what it is. It probably got some news or something. You have some pivots there. But these are dangerous. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this one. I mean, a lot of people play these, but let's see on the weekly. Yeah, weekly right here. Yeah, I would maybe 850. Sorry, guys, I'm like choking over here. 859. Yeah, I mean maybe $5, but yeah, I wouldn't do anything with this one. That's just a news-driven turd, and it could go. Look at dry ships. If you short this thing, and they get a bid, or you maybe got some brokers calling people like me, going, "Hey, you got to get into VLTC," and then I tell them, "Why the hell do you want to get in it? Why didn't you call me when it was $1.78? You're calling me when it's $3.55? Are you kidding me?" I get all these brokers calling me all the time, guys. It's funny. I even have brokers at one point calling me for consultation. I told them, you start paying me, I'll give you consultation. If not, I'm cutting you off. And they were calling me, and then they finally stopped. But it's like, I gave them all my opinion. I gave them some great trades, and then they want shit for free. Damn, guys, I'm losing my voice again. All right, let's go. Let's look through some other ones. Hold on. Something happened in Acacia. Will it happen to NVIDIA? Yeah, same crap. It's going to happen. I mean, just the hype. Just remember, this was a head. I was telling everyone to short this one. This was a head and shoulder top, pulled back. I mean, look at that, head and shoulder, came back. Everybody got long, because I remember on StockTwits, everyone was bullish. I buy this one, it's going to go up. So they got all the suckers in it like they dropped it in their face. The head and shoulder pattern played out. My target was 75.25 and gap fill. right to it, bounced right back up. Now it's like bearish consolidation. This one can be setting up possibly to go lower. If the SPY and the IWM start dumping, everything dumps, this one's going lower, guys. So here's your let's see, 57 bucks, and then honestly, I think it could go to 47 bucks if everything starts to dump out. You'll have supported gap fill, stuff like that. But if the markets start dumping, it's going lower with everything else. Yeah, maybe the seller's waiting for January. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But remember last January where we dumped out pretty damn good. Made money on JPM. That's awesome. Bet chat with their small ones. We went over this. LABD. Twilio calls? Nah. I mean, it's already bouncing. TWLO. Yeah, it's already going. I mean, we had this area gap fill. It pretty much filled the gap. That was the low, and there it goes. So I'd wait for the retrace. Maybe get short again. Not now. You're chasing it. I mean, it went from 29 to 37. No way. If you're in calls, yeah, I would be taking the money. But I thought for sure we'd maybe get down here. But eventually, what is that? $40 drop. You're going to get a dead cat bounce and a little bit of a upside. But you're going to start running into resistance. Resistance up here, gap fill. You got the 50 MA. Let's see if we can even just get above the 20 MA and confirm. That's a big area too. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Yeah, I mean, you got a good push up on the weekly too. So now what we're going to do on this one, let's see. So now we're going to take a retrace from this low here, gap fill. I'm going to put it to the top. Yeah, 40 bucks, 45, 50. We'll have to see how this one goes. It's going to go up on hype, and then CNBC will get a hold of it and you got to get into Twilio. They're the best thing ever. Oh my gosh. You are starting to get some pretty good volume. So people are starting to chase this thing. So just beware. If you're long, start protecting it. I mean, if you did buy gap fill, the area that we were talking about, that's a great trade right now. That's $7. But I don't know. It could go up right back up the double top. If it does that, we're shorting it again. But yeah, if you're long, let it ride. Start tightening up that stop. See what you can get out of it. Repeat rates rising. Yep, did that. Let's see here. Hey, John, made money off the Tesoro. Great. Love it, man. Went short IRBT today. Needs your opinion. Is that iRobot? I used to play this one a long time ago. iRobot. So he went short. Let's see. All right. All right, that's not bad. You have the trend line up here. You have that. That's a monthly. Let's look at the weekly. And having problems here. All right, it's not bad. It is stretched, so I do like that. Basically, on the weekly chart, you really don't want it to close over 55 bucks or so on a weekly close. So on Friday, you want this thing to stay below 55. It starts to go up a little bit more. Just make sure you have a little bit room, to add a little bit more because it is getting extended here. And really what you want to see confirmation over this line. So like I said, confirmation over the line, you want it to close above 54.03. If you get that, then you're probably expecting the 55 even number. If you get that, then you got to see how it reacts basically. But yeah, this is a stretched one. This should come in regardless. You might be in a little pain for a little bit, maybe a week or two. But, if you can add more up here, add a little bit more, maybe at every even number, 55, 56. Maybe add some for 60 just in case. But 60s, you're starting to get stretched. But at this point, your MA's at 20 MA's at 42 bucks. So you're almost 13 bucks stretched. It will pull back. But, if it does, it might be a shallow pullback. And then maybe a next launch up. So if you do get a $5, $6 pullback into the $48 level or so, pull half off. It goes back up, then just add it again. And then, you're still stretched here. Let's look at the monthly one more time. Yeah, monthly stretch too. So, and honestly, let's see here. Actually, no, here, let's draw this bit better here. Sorry about that. Kind of half-assed. Let's draw it in a little bit better. Man, allergies are just killing me today. Yeah, let's take it on that one. So at this point, we're going to go off this high pivot there. So what you want to see, let's go back to the weekly here now. Yeah, now that we got it in. So we close, yeah, it's still the same thing on that. But you want to see it get below this line and definitely get below this 48 line because that was the high pivot back here. It gets below 48.27. you're definitely going to go down. But it is a stretch chart. That's not a bad short right there. But just be aware that, you know, it could go up a little bit more where you got to add a little bit more. Hope things are good. Things are really good. Any thoughts on NVIDIA here? Yeah, NVIDIA just a stretch pig. I'm short. I'm underwater. But like I've been telling everybody, I trade 300 to 400 trades a year. This is one trade, 10% of my portfolio. If it goes up, you know, 50% on me and I stop out, it's only 5% of my total portfolio loss. It's all about money management, so I can really care less. I will be married to this one, though, because on a monthly chart, it will be coming back in and I will get paid. You know, I'm waiting patiently to put some puts on, maybe write some calls to gain some money on that one, and just do it that way. I've scalped this one a bunch of times, gained on that way. So, you know, another trade for me. You know, if it goes to 100, it goes to 100. I'll still be in it. I mean, maybe 100 is the magic number, kind of like dry ships. 100 round numbers, stocks love to go to round numbers. I don't know if it's going to make it. If the market starts selling off, it's probably not going to make it. But kind of, you know, I guess someone was saying, someone sent me an email saying that they're really hyping it up on CNBC right now. So be careful with this one. You know, it's kind of like I would, if you're not short it. Short it right here, but be ready to add it 100 on the short. So don't go crazy. If you're doing a couple hundred shares, maybe do 100 here, 100 at 96, 97, and 100 more at the 101, 102 if you get a pierce through that, and then that's it. And there's know where your stop out's going to be. For me, I'm holding it. Eventually, it will come in. It's a high flyer. It's extended. It's just going to be a matter of time before it starts falling. You know, kind of like oh. You know, it was extended, came back in. Skyworks is the one I always show. This one was massively extended, came back in. This one had something to do with Apple, and no, it's part of Apple, blah blah blah, and then yeah, doesn't matter. And that's why you go to Amazon. That's a high flyer too. That one will be down in here too eventually, around the probably 650 or so. I'm thinking 680. Another high flyer. Did I go over Amazon? No, I can do it right now. Wait, let's see here. So Tesoro, iRobot, things are great. NVIDIA, yeah, if you're not short that thing. Puts, not yet. I mean, you could probably add a put on it, just one. If it moves up a little bit more, do another one, but go out into January probably, maybe February with that one for NVIDIA. But, you know, unless you're more of a short-term, you know, options guy. But it could go, if the markets start to move up again, it could go higher on the hype and everything. IWM I did, but I could go over that. So let's look at Amazon right now. You know, you buy the dippers. Anytime this thing dips, everyone's, oh, I gotta get an Amazon. Oh my gosh. I wish it would have hit the 200 MA, but it didn't. So right now we're just setting up sideways in a bearish manner. MAs are moving down on this thing, so you got to be very, very careful with this. We held the 750. We do have a pivot around 680 or so, 682.73. So if we set up and retrace and this moving average comes down, I think we're going to go up to this inside bar, retrace maybe back to 777 or so, maybe. And unless the markets are weak, this thing can go down. We're still hanging on to the 382 on the upside, so we need to get above this green line. And then this one, then ultimately this is going to be your big test here around 778. This is going to curl down. This could possibly curl down. So right now I'm still bearish on this one. You might get some action because some hype or an upgrade or some crap. But this is a bearish inside bar going sideways, setting up for lower prices. Weekly chart. Come on. Weekly chart. You have a little bit of a bottoming tail. So let's see where this thing closes. But it's not a true bottoming tail. A true bottoming tail would be down here or down there. And I mean, it's a short-term bottom tail maybe. But it's still way up in here. So. But let's see how this thing reacts and see how it closes. We got 2 more days of the week. So until then, we'll take a look at this on Friday. But right now, yeah, Amazon's not doing too much. Just kind of going up and down. But remember that big trend line we had, guys. Got above it, never stayed above, never confirmed, right back in. That's why sometimes we got to wait for confirmation when we're shorting and doing positions. So look at this thing turn around and it just started going. You know, so. And right now, it's a little bit weak. We'll see where it closes on the monthly. But if it closes below this green candle here, that's a weak sign, in my opinion, at least. All right, hold on here. Is it Sino? Yeah, I saw Sino. I don't play that one, but that was awesome. Those, hey, good thing. Just exit, take the money, and say thank you very much, because there's always going to be another one around the corner. IWM, we did go over this a little bit. Right now we're at the highs. We talked about the daily. Daily's chopping around at the high pivot. We have a little doji. Not too much going on other than a little extended here. I want to see more consolidation, then possibly a move up. If this consolidation fails, then we're going to possibly move down. Weekly chart. Weekly, I want to see a close above the 129.10 on Friday. If it does not, then possibly more downside. You still have a gap to fill down in here, and then we'll see how it reacts. But right now, it's strong. It's above all the MAs. It is bullish, but moves like this just don't last very long. You don't get a parabolic, 85-degree move and not have a pullback. I mean, look at this thing. Chops around, boom, 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 straight up. So we started adding shorts on the IWN up in here. So, and puts, I'll let it go sideways, maybe hopefully another couple days. Then I'll add a put or two. We'll start doing that as well. But just be patient with these guys. It could go another couple weeks, and all the puts are going to get smashed. So, if anything, I'd probably write a put. No, but we'll see how this goes. Yeah, right now, not too much to do. If you're not short the IWM, you can definitely short it up here. Time to go long gold? No, not yet. We talked about gold. Let it go down a little bit more. You're looking at we talked about this one earlier too. 115 was our first area. We've been talking about that one for a long, long time. My charts pull up. Yeah, I'm having a problem with my internet too, guys. It sucks. I'm getting new internet in like a week. Yeah, they came in and raised the speeds and everything, and then my internet was down like every other day. It was bizarre. So I'm going with a different provider. But yeah, this thing's setting up possibly to go lower. We did talk about 115.71. It's a gap fill from back here. We talked about the 115.20 area. We did add some long here, just a small position. I'm going to start adding here. I'm going to add here at 112.40. I'm going to add somewhere down in here. I don't know about a full position, but I'll probably be 3/4 of a position down in here, just in case it does a little FU and flush all the short or all the longs out, and then they bounce it. Kind of like what they did here. They got all the shorts to go, and then all the shorts recovering down here. Okay, if you were short, and then all of a sudden they get one run up here, so all the longs that were dumping here, they're starting to chase up there. We got 2-3 days of up, and then they smashed it in their face. So, like I said earlier, we thought this was going up without us, and look at this, boom, right back into the area we've been talking about since it's been down here pretty much. I thought for sure we'd go down there. So the area is 115.71. You can add, if we go one more leg down, or if you don't want to add here, start adding it here and add down here, and then maybe somewhere 105 or so, but we'll see. There's a gap fill right here at 103.23, but not yet. Want to add a little? If you go 500 shares, add 100 here. Because if this thing goes up $10 on some crazy news or something, that's $1,000. So know your risk, know your reward, stuff like that. Twilio, we did talk about that. Yeah, don't chase it. Let it go up. Nothing to do here, at least for me. You're above the 20 MA. You might go higher. I'll look to reshort this. That's what I'll do. Hopefully we get up here again, $60. I'll start adding again, but I honestly don't know what this thing's going to do. It's just getting a bounce from an oversold condition. You got some pretty good volume here. So watch the volume. See if we get a couple more candles of big volume, because people are starting to load the boat in this one. This is where you would have done it. Gap fill, 29.91. It pretty much pegged it by, 10 cents or something, and boom, straight back up. This is where you would have taken the short or the long, and then boom. Then actually, I would have been selling it right here. I would have been out of it. That's a hell of a move in a couple days. So 6.68% today. Come on. See ya. So Twilio, yeah, just stay away from there. Gold, you can nibble on. All right, okay, thanks. PayPal. Oop, hold on. Gosh, am I that far behind? No. Twilio. Okay, good. All right, all right. So PayPal, let's do that one. PYPL. Yeah, that was great. Gosh, we added more up here. We're in the money on this one now, and we're going to keep riding this thing. I'm short this one too. We cracked this trend line down here. I think we're going to 38, 36, and ultimately, if the markets start dumping, we're going to be at $34. So yeah, Let's see here. James, are you long, short in PayPal? If you're still in the room here. Close my see Cisco short after hours. Perfect. Ex dividend soon. Exactly. Short Bank of America. Yeah, you can short Bank of America. We're short Goldman, Wells Fargo, and JPM at this point. PayPal. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, you have good support down here. Don't get me wrong, but if the market's dumb, this one's going lower. I mean, look at that. They had earnings. I guess they were okay, and look at that, just fall. Gosh, I'm looking for a couple more bucks out of this one, and I'll be out of this one. But you have good support here. I don't know if I would do anything with it. If it sets up in a bearish manner, let's give it like another week of a setup and then possibly short. Going long, maybe you do have good support, but after hitting this, I'd expect a little better bounce than that. But honestly, if you want to go long, if it gets below the trend line, you get the hell out. If it gets below 38 bucks, you dump it. So give yourself thinking long. Yeah, if you want to go long, give it a shot. But this is an inside bar bearish pattern. You might get a retrace. If you get a retrace back up to, see, it's just not enough for me. Shorten this thing up here, starting at, well, we're a little bit upside down. Now we're right side up. But I mean, if it goes up, how much more are you going to go up? $2 maybe, depending on share size. But downside risk, excuse me, guys, downside risk, you got 35 and you could possibly go to 34. So, you got $2 up and then, whatever, $5 down or so. Like I said, we're short. You could possibly get a bounce here. Again, you're in good support down in here. Let's look at the weekly really quick. Yeah, I mean, the weekly, you're holding on to the 20 MA, but if you get out of this, if you close below this big green bar on Friday, then we're probably going to go down more. You do have some support around 38 as well. It's not a bad trade. It's good. You could play it off the inside bar on the weekly, but you got to really watch this. If it closes below 39.16 on a weekly, then there's a good possibility it goes down. If it does pop up a couple bucks, you just got to take the money and run. And then if it gets back up in here, short it. My motto, guys. Especially when markets can correct any time now. I mean, it's just a matter of when at this point. Verizon. Let's see here. Yeah, you're getting a bounce off something. 750 was right there. There was a pivot. Let's go see. Was that a gap fill or something? Let's see. Yeah, there's yep, there's a gap fill right there at 45.85. Never made it, guys. So that would have been the area to pick it up right there. You got the blue line, which is the 750. Never made it. Got a bounce. You're inside this inside bar now. So yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, that would have been the area right there for the bounce. But I mean, retrace, you could possibly go up to here. I mean, it's already 46, 47. It's already $2 off the low. So I mean, maybe. I mean, this you got to get above this pivot here, and then maybe 40. You got to get above the 48.06 area. Then you're probably going up. You do have a gap fill here at right around 49.16, and you have another one up here right around 50.37. So if you are long this one, right around the $50, 50.50 area, that's where you want to start thinking about tightening your stop or taking something off. It could go back here. It is Verizon. Everyone wants to get in these, and it did get a nice bloodbath from up in here. But if you get a retrace, just keep an eye on it. You might go into the 200 MA. But if it closes below the gap fill and starts, it'll possibly go lower. You gotta tie these up with the market, guys, with the SPY, with the indexes, the Qs, the IWM. If all those start selling, everything's going down. I'm gonna tell you that every day. You're gonna be sick and tired of me telling you that. You're making my throat hurt? Yeah, right. Gosh, all this talk. Let me tell you, I had some meetings with some clients this morning and talking and doing these videos. Killing me. And then the weather changes in Arizona, so every time this year it gets cooler out, and then the allergies start kicking up and all that crap too. Netflix. Let's see here. Hold on. Netflix. NFLX. Okay, Netflix is setting up nice, guys. We're holding the 382 retrace over here. We're setting up in a bearish pattern. I still think Netflix is going down to $100. But let's give this a little more time. Let's see if we can retrace. If it retraces back up into this area, I'll add more to my short. We covered half, so I'll let this thing go up. If it goes up another 12 or $7 or whatever that is, I'll short it again here and I'll take it down again. You know, or if it goes up a little higher, whatever. But yeah, this is setting up to go down. So if you're already short, hold on to that. And you know, at least up into the 106 area, you might get some. If this goes sideways for another week or so, this support will be nothing. It'll probably go through this. It's probably going to go to the 200 or gap fill right here, right around 100. So if you are long in this one, be careful. It is setting up to go down. Google. Yeah, Google got a bounce. I mean, we went right into this area, the 200 moving average, so 50% retrace. I mean, I would have loved the 735 hit, but it never made it. You know, you are just retracing back up. So, you know, if you're long in this one, hold on to it. It could possibly go back to 800. If it goes to 800, definitely take some shares off the table. If it gets back to 809, 8010, that's your spot to short. Even around 800 is not bad. We did cover our Google. I am still short in my swing trade, but my short-term account, I'm already out. Again, we just take the money and run. I don't care. We added right around 804, then 811 or 812. When it went to like 770, we took it, and then when it went one more, we took the rest. Somewhere in there, but it was like 20 bucks and 20 bucks, and it's like, see you later. Like I tell everybody. Everyone thinks, oh, well, I only have 100 shares of Google or 50 shares of Google. Yeah, but if you have 100 shares of Google and it drops 40 bucks, it's $4 grand, guys. Hello. You know, so I'm taking profits. I don't care. I got in yesterday, VZ. VZ weekly option, sell the upside calls. Yeah, I mean, you mean right calls on that? I would let Verizon go up a little bit before for that. But if you want to write some calls on NVIDIA. Go slow and steady. PayPal is weekly still bearish. Google. Yeah, Google. Let's see here. You retraced. You got the 750 in here around 785. I like the 800 number. If you're long in Google, you might be able to get to 800. You got to watch if the index is dumped, it's all dumping, guys. So you got to line that up with the, you know, it's tough. It should, you know, these should bounce, just like Goldman should pull back from those areas, you know. So, but again, I mean, this could be it for this one. You got a lot of buy the dippers in here and stuff like that. You got a lot of guys who bought up here and got totally screwed. So just be careful with these. But yeah, I mean, Google could bounce up 800. I will be adding more around 800, 810. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, we hit the 50 MA as well. And that's why we got a bounce as well. So we're trying to recapture the 382 or the 618 going up. We'll see. We'll see what happens on the weekly close, and we'll redetermine what we should do with this one. But right now, we did have a nice pullback. It's settling in right here. Now we're waiting for pattern to see what the next move will be. Sentiment is hiking. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, they're like 95% now. The Fed raises expectations of price action. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Isaac. You know, I mean, anything can happen, but yeah, you know, the free money policy, they want that shit forever. They don't want that to go away, these money banks. They want free money, and you know, they always want the Fed in there just in case. You know, markets go down, the Fed's going to be in there just in case. And you know, with Trump coming in, I don't think he really likes yelling. You know, it's going to be really hard to say. I don't think he likes the Fed, to be honest with you, because they just created the next bubble, to be honest with you. And you know, if you're new to this room or new to the live chat, you know, here's the SPY, and I show this one over and over, guys, and I'm going to keep showing you guys because I want you to understand what kind of market we're in right now. And when we're at the top on a market, you know, here's your .com, here's your housing crash, and this is where we're at now. Not good. We have no business being way the hell up here. We really don't. But again, on the SPY, look what happened on the SPY. We have this trend line down in here. We hit it. We almost hit the 20 MA, but that's, you know, we bounced right back up. This is still a bit bullish pattern on the monthly, but you know, big patterns like this at all-time highs have a really good failing rate too, guys. So just beware of that one. Explain the market correction. Can you explain why you see a market? Yeah, this is it right here, man. I mean, there's you know, I don't know if you look at charts or not. This is the .com. That's your housing. QE1, QE2, QE3 to infinity, and you know, you also get the light volume in there. You get some heavier volume on the selling, and then they usually make one more run for the roses. Then it kind of chops. We might chop for another month or two. She raises rates. January, I think we're going to go down, just like we did last year. I mean, here's the charts. January. Here's last year's right here. And you know what we were? We were short. And you look at the markets. You look at this. You put that up here. As resistance. It comes in, goes right back up, goes into double top. You got to short that. Comes in, goes back up. Right to this high pivot, goes in, comes back up, and then lights out. Now she raised the rate, so it's kind of like what it's doing now, up, down, and then finally she does it, and then boom, straight down. That was awesome. Then nice retrace, and then right back down to double bottom. You got to buy that. We were long, sold way too early, but you know what? Whatever. We waited for the top again, shorted, stuff like just that's what we do. For short-term traders, I don't care which way, long or short. And there'll be a time when we're long again, but just for me, not now. I mean, there's trades out there, don't get me wrong, but I just don't want to wake up in a long position and we're down $500 on a gap down and my position's getting clobbered. At least on the way up, other than like NVIDIA, where it just keeps going, kind of like dry ships. You just got to be careful. But that's why, that's why I have a short buy. My opinion right now is short, guys. I mean, just like here, everybody here, I got screwed on this one, guys. I got wiped out. About 50% of my portfolio, but I was in like mutual funds, crap like that. I really wasn't an investor. And then I was like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? Rode this one up. Got back to basically square one as it was going down. I just got out of the markets. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything here. And then about 8 years ago, I started learning the technicals. So, and that was right. That was pretty much right in here. And the guy who was teaching me how to trade, he called this bottom. It was pretty crazy. So, but again, I showed this yesterday. So when this goes long, so we start taking positions off, you hit resistance, pulls back, and then when it pulls back, you go long again. Start going, wait for the pullback, go long again. Wait for the pullback, go long again. Kind of like when you're short. Short, let me just, I'm going to pull up we shorted and check this one out. We shorted this one yesterday. I didn't put a post out there or anything, and I should have. Look at this one. Home Depot. That was just, you couldn't ask for a better setup than that. Right back in the double top, 200 moving average. Boom, boom. Look at that, back down. I posted this one on Twitter. I already sold half of it, but we've done this one a couple times. But it's kind of like this. So, what I was saying, when it's going up, you wait for the retrace and then you buy long again. When it's going down, you let it go down. You wait, you cover. You let it retrace. You short again. Comes back down. Cover, let it retrace, short again, and go do it again. That's the trend right now, guys. You don't want, every dip, you don't want to go buy long at the flipping highs. I mean, yeah, you might get lucky, but, everyone's asking me about Facebook, When do I buy Facebook? No, we're going to short Facebook. We're going to wait for a retrace. We're going to re-short it again. I mean, we're short already in Facebook, but come on, chart. But yeah, you want to go long down here. You're probably going to go right here to 108.80, this low pivot. I mean, it broke down through the 20 MA, and this thing's not looking good. Again, another high flyer, just like NVIDIA. You got your 20 MA here right around 108. So that's where I'm expecting this one to possibly go. And look at that sell-off right there. This is the time. See all these wicks? That's what that did. It came back in, and they pushed it up. Came back in, pushed it up. This is the one time all of a sudden it's just a big red candle. Then it clicks over and one more drop. Honestly, this thing could go back to 71 bucks, 50 MA. We'll see how it reacts towards here, but that's why, when stocks go up like this, then you're waiting for them to pull back like this. Then you're waiting for the bounce, the retrace, and you short it again. Comes back in, cover to short, let it retrace, short it again until that trend is, on the SPY and the IWM starts moving up again. Then you can start buying the dips and stuff like that. Let's see, blue. Anybody have any charts you want me to look at? Punch them in. Voice, everything's okay. Everyone can see me. Someone said it was a little bit blurry early in the video. Just let me know everything's okay. Blue, wow. I don't even know what these guys are. That's a monthly chart. That is just ugly, guys. Yeah, wow. Let's look at the daily. Another high flyer. It just freaking murdered people. Um, yeah, look what you did. You filled the gap right here. Almost filled the gap. Wow. Doesn't get much closer than that, guys. And then bounce. See, now I'd look for a retrace on this. I don't know what it is. Could be a biotech or something, but we almost made it to the 750. This would have been a lot of the technical guys will be taking the short here. So everyone piles in the short. They squeeze it up a little bit more. I like this area. We almost filled the gap there. Gosh, yeah. This is for the end of the week. I don't know. It's options X. I'm almost feeling 2 sell days coming on, but for me, I honestly don't know. There's really no setup other than we're at highs in a bullish manner on the SPYs and the IWM and the Qs and all that. But a lot of times with options X, you'll do this, for 3 days, kind of chop around, move up, and then the last 2 days you'll get a bomb. But I don't know. I hope we get some down days because I'd like to cover more of my shorts, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, blue, I don't know. I mean, it retraced up here. We had a night. I mean, this would have been your area to short it right up in here. But for me, nothing to do after a move like that. I mean, if you were long up here or down from $38 or so, I'd be taking some off the table. Just thinking honestly, go straight back down. Looking at the weekly, just an ugly pattern. They must be getting news or some crap. Comes in. This is a little bullish pattern and drops in their face for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Catches the lows here. See where you have all the support down in here? That's why it bounced. That's big support. That support cracks, it's going to be lights out for this thing. And looking at the bigger time frame, you got a gap right here. I bet you this is where this thing's going. $26, $25 right there, and then double bottom. 17. And the reason why I say that, unless if it's a news-driven stock, it could damn well go higher. But I mean, this is ugly. Look, see again. See how all right. See the yellow line? That's the 20 MA. See how extended it gets? It always comes back, guys. Always. Don't give a shit what stock it is. Nvidia too. That's why I keep telling everybody, short this thing. If you're in some pain now, just hold it. If you're not short it if you can. If not, puts, just be careful. But look, see how far it's stretched? It's going to come in. Look at the one we just looked at, blue. Come on, blue. I want to cover my shorts. How Nvidia 2 billion buyback? Yeah, buyback. Yeah, that's great. That's the only reason half these stocks are going up. They do a $2 billion buyback program. You know what happens? They do a stock buyback, and this whole market gets crushed. They're going to lose that $2 billion, and then what are they going to do? And that's the problem with the buybacks, guys. Everyone's happy when the shit's going straight up. Well, what happens when you take all your capital and you start buying back your own stock, and next thing you know, the thing flushes out. So you're buying your stock back at $90 or whatever. They probably get preferred stock or a special buy or however that works with the company buying back stocks. But what happens if that thing gets a haircut and goes right back to $25? Then what? And then all of a sudden, all these companies that kept buying their stock back, what if they're starting to get crushed? It's going to be really interesting what that's going to do. Because no one's investing in the economy anymore. They're investing in their own company. Just buy back the stock. It's going to be great. You got to invest in the economy. That's no good if someone buys back their own stock. They're not doing anything. Nobody's putting anything in the economy right now. They're just buying their own shit and they're doing their own thing or acquisitions or no one's producing anything anymore, guys. It's terrible. So just be careful. I mean, this is why I'm looking at. Look at that bearish pattern. This is ugly. It needs to get above this 20 MA around $83. If it just keeps chopping around like this one's going lower. That's why, that's what brought, the IBB. Look at this monthly pattern. That's an ugly one too. That's an ugly SOB, guys. Look at this one. Down, sideways, little bit of a retrace, smash. Down, sideways. This one's consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. I'm telling you, markets start to plow. This thing's going to $200, and I wouldn't doubt it goes to 164. and then 147. Mark that shit down, guys. Believe me, if this pattern plays out, it's going downtown. Charlie Brown. Yeah, I want to cover my shorts too, Prince. Yeah, let me pull up dries. Yeah, end of week, I don't know. It just feels like it's setting up for a sell-off at the end of the week, at least to me. Yes, dry. You know, I posted it at least 4 or 5 times. Take your profit, take your profit, take your profit. I mean, look at this. I mean, I went over this yesterday in one of my videos. So we went into the gap window, 200 moving average, 618 retrace, 750 is a little bit higher, even number at 100, big resistance there. And then the key was right here. It's a weekly. You know, at least get out. And, you know, I mean, you could have got out at 100 and sold and bought back at 71 if you really want to stay in this one yesterday. You know, because when, you know, I showed this chart too yesterday where it's like, oh my gosh, it's hitting the 50 MA too. There's your 50, and it hit the 50 MA on the weekly. How many more reasons am I going to give you for this thing to possibly pull back? And it did. I mean, this morning it launched again because all they're doing is hyping this crap up. But, you know, just be careful. I mean, you might go to 141, but the move's already here, guys. The move was from the $5 to the, you know, 50, 60. That was your move. Now you want to buy up here. So what? Go straight back down to $4 and then you're sitting in it for, you know, 5 years or some crap like that. I don't remember this one ever being this high. They had to do it. They had to have done something with this. Because years ago, we used to play this one all the time. But maybe it was something else. I don't know. I have a friend that does small caps, and he does a hell of a job with small caps. And I remember playing this one a couple times when it was $3, $4, and I just don't remember it being at 280. But again, it could have been a different stock. You don't think it, but IWM is the new highs because it thought American. Yeah, exactly. From the global economy risk. Yeah, but the suckers. Yeah, exactly. You're at double top. As a technician, you got to short it. You go, yeah. Yeah, we used to play this one all the time. Now, you know what? I didn't talk to my friend. He might have been, if he was in this one, I wouldn't doubt it. But he might have missed it. But yeah, we played this one numerous times where it just pops a couple bucks, we get out. That's it. But yeah, right now, I don't know. Right now, I couldn't tell you. We're going to find out tomorrow when this thing opens up. It could be flipping ugly. It really could be. So have a president of Congress that will defend America. Yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting. But you know what, Jack? At the end of the day, the Fed's been ballooning these markets up. And when time's up, it's up. Okay, that's why. All right, that makes sense then. No touch. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Shipping. I mean, if you had this thing at $4, shit, I would have been out yesterday. Going, yeah. It's funny because all these people are like, I'm making so much money. This is going to be so great. And they never sold. Now it's a crapshoot. Now talk to me tomorrow if this thing goes crashing down. But they'll post. I sold the other day. I really did. It's like you posted all when you bought it, but not you didn't post it when you sold it. You know, regardless if you took it or not, whatever, post it. Tell us you got out of it. So I'm following you. At least have a courtesy post. You know, I try to do that as much as I can. I got 42 things going on, but I try, you know, to go back to my positions or my stock twits posts, and I say, hey, I'm out of that one a long time ago. You're still in it. Sorry, I didn't post it. But I try to keep up with that shit, guys, as much as I can. Dries, yeah, that one, Tom. If you're in it, good luck with that one. You know, I would have sold that one yesterday and just get the hell out. Or this morning, I think it was like 115 pre-market. Shit, I would have been out. Agree, Jack. Yeah, I'm heavy short. Yeah, nah, don't go ahead, guys. Don't tell me you're heavy short. Just tell me you have a 10% position of your total portfolio. Could go a little higher, but yeah, I'm short too. The IWM. So. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. You get moves like that. It's just insane. And then the other thing that's catching my eye, you got the IYT too. We started adding in this one. It's another one. Just starts all of a sudden out of the blue, just starts ripping up. It's been lagging this whole time. But you know, you can't knock this bearish or bullish pattern. We talked about this one for 2 months, 3 months, and then you had an inside bar bullish pattern here. Now I'm saying if this thing fails and doesn't pop up, this thing's going to tank. But again, let's see. Let's see where we close. Not Friday, and this was the next level, 159.87. Are we going to get there? I don't know. I mean, it was right around there, 160 or so. And then you have this big breakdown bar too. Again, still lagging. So It'll be interesting if they could keep this thing going, or does it just reverse and come right back down? Or does it come right back down into here and cause a little little tail here? We'll have to keep an eye on that as well. So, but again, lagging indicator. Finally, the IWM got up there. And I've seen that before too with the IWM. That thing's launching and the SPY and the Qs are starting to roll over. Then all of a sudden the IWM rolls over and then it's lights out for everything. So, but my thoughts, options X are trying to get these up. You probably had a lot of institutional money buying calls on this. While everyone else was buying puts, they were buying calls, and then they pushed everything up, try to get the best bang for the buck. And the smart money's taking some money off the table. They're not holding on to this shit. They've been distributing and distributing up here. I'll go back to, and this is what they could possibly do, and I'll be watching for this one. Just like they did up here. They brought it up. Where are we on the weekly? SPY. V looks like a good short, 82, 83-ish. I'm so glad I took you get the profits on that. See ya. Don't wait. Too many people go, oh man, I hope it goes lower, just a little bit, and all of a sudden it pops back up. It's like, oh man. Yeah, if it gets back to that, we'll look at Visa in a minute here. But yeah, on the SPY, if we do this, we could do exactly what we did here. Jobs report pops up. Jobs report pops up. Never makes it up here. Comes right back in. And a jobs report somewhere in here. They tried popping up, came back in. This is a great inside bar, bearish pattern starting playing out. Then we had the elections, and that was their reason to push it up again. So, but yeah, if we do this, that's what I was saying with puts and stuff on the SPY and the IWM, those are tough. If we just end up doing this, they're going to be worthless, even if you go to January, February. But I think if you go to January, February, at least giving yourself a shot, just make sure you can add more, just in case if that happens. Visa, I didn't even look at this one. Or I have been. Is it going straight back up? Yeah, if it gets back up into this area, why not? You got this gap to fill here. You got this inside bar up here, 82. Yeah, if it goes right back up there, short it again. Start adding, that is. You could possibly, you'll get an upgrade or something where they push it up a little bit more, but you can start adding definitely right in there. Why not? But yeah, when that fell hit the 200, time to get out. See you later. Unless you're on a swing trade, with MA, I'll hold on a little bit longer. But I've been covering shorts. I've been taking positions off. I've been just taking the money and running. U.S. dollar, and if gold, dollar still has a little more to go. We talked about that one in earlier, but let's look at Apple real quick. We haven't looked at that one yet. Apple, yeah, you're getting a bid. If you're long in this one, you probably get up to 112 right into this area. Maybe the high of this one, 113.36. But I think you're just getting a short-term bounce. You got to buy the dippers. They just can't help themselves anymore. Holy shit, I got to get an Apple. Here it goes. So they'll get everyone to chase. And remember, it's options X too. They might need higher prices. As soon as we hit the price where they got to pay the least amount of premium out, they'll close it out on Friday, exactly where they needed to close it. That money banks, the big institutions, stuff like that, because those are the ones driving the markets. And then the next day, Monday, it just flops on its face. Just crap. Just typical crap like that, guys. And believe me, it's happening. It's not, if you think it's happening, it's really happening. If I didn't know anything about this, I'd always say, man, there's got to be someone watching me. Every time I get in the stock, it goes down. Then when I sell it, it goes up. Yeah, they're watching. You have market makers. You have the institutions. Hedge funds, not so much. You have some big hedge funds out there. But the real movers, even the central banks, those are the real movers. Those are the guys that can move the dollar, move currency. They got, when you have unlimited funds, you can move anything. So, but yeah, right now, Apple, excuse me, just a retrace. Don't chase it. Let it go up. Let it go up higher than short it. If you have to get in it, maybe. But you went from 104 to 10, almost a $5 move already. Not for me. I'm short this one right now. So, and I'm going to hang on to it. I still think 90 bucks is in the card. So I'm going to hold on to it and wait for the markets to correct or whenever that could happen. We're right in the time frame, like I said, where anything's possible. The UUP is the one I follow for the dollar. We talked about this earlier, but I'm still thinking 26.13 and then 26.50. I still think we have a little more room to run. This goes up, oil will come down. Maybe. Every time this goes up and up and up, oil's going up with it. So that's another disconnection. from the central bankers doing their manipulating. And then one day you get the Saudis are agreeing to an output stop. So is Putin. And then 3 days later, it's like, well, not really. And then oil tanks, blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, right now, easily, 26 bucks, 26.13, and then 26.49. So you can follow this one with the dollar. But yeah, we do have definitely some more upside on the dollar. BMY, is that an acronym or is that a stock? Yeah, there's nothing to do on this. What's the volume? 8 million. Actually, it is setting up in a bullish manner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days sideways, 6 days sideways. Maybe had some news. We got above this pivot here. Yeah, it's still just a gosh. There's really no setup. Let's see. I'm just looking at where I have. Let's go to the weekly. Apparently, I looked at this one before. It might have been you as well. Okay, there we go. So we're going off that pivot there. So it almost caught the 618 right here. Actually, let's take a look different. Let's see what this one does. Let's see if the 5-0s there. Yeah, there you go. Or 750. So it did hold on to the 750. You retrace back into there. If you're long this one, you want to start pulling around 60 bucks, and then it could possibly get the 64, 65 area in here. If it gets up into the 68 area, definitely pull your longs off. And for your shorts, if we could get back up into the $70, $72 area, this could be a possible short. But right now, you're getting a dead cat bounce from an oversold condition, but needs to get over the 200 moving average on the weekly and a close. So on Friday, it needs to close above this red line. If it does not, you have a good possibility of going down. But right now, we're above it. But we'll see where Friday closes at. But right now, for me, nothing to do. You did fill the gap here. You're at the high pivot there, and it's slowly pulling back a little bit. But for me, I'd rather see it go up and then reshort it. Remember, guys, just like I was showing you, when the markets are moving up, then it retraces down, you want to buy it. Retraces down, buy it. Right now, this is going down, retracing, and you want to short it. Unless it breaks above the high and then starts to go again, then you'll take the bounces. But this, it's just because the markets are at the all-time highs. This was making all-time highs, and it pulls back, and then I just can't. The markets sell. This is going down with the markets, guys. XBI. All right, hold on here. MO. I got a couple more guys, and I got to get rolling. Got to pick up my kids today. MO. See again. See this one here? Comes in, pulls back or retraces back up. Short it. It is holding this pivot. If you're short, hang on. If you're long, you need to get above the MAs here. You need to get above the moving averages and then possibly more upside. Let's see on the daily just to see what it looks like. Yeah, this thing's just chopping around. It's really no pattern or anything. You might retrace back up, fill the gap. You got a gap up here too, but yeah, I mean this would have been your bounce area, double bottom. I mean, it already bounced a couple bucks. I wouldn't be chasing it. I just want to see what it looks like on the monthly here. So on the monthly, if I could pull it up, yeah, it was. See I got a little bit stretched from here. See how it got a little stretched here too. Came back in, but then took off. Not bad. I would say it's probably time for this one to pull in. But at this point, I would wait for one more thrust up and then possibly do it. But there's really nothing here for me to go after. You're below the MAs here. You're starting to retrace into this area. I mean, maybe if this doesn't hold and it gets through here, then you're looking at this 65, 66.22 area. If you're long, pull it off there. If you want to go short, maybe up in there. But yeah, it's just chopping around right now. MO. Yeah, I covered some of the Cisco today. Went lower as soon as I hit the buy to cover. Yeah, of course it does. It always does. Really stay away from drugs. Too much headline risk. Yeah, pharmaceuticals. It's insane. XBI. What is the XBI? Is that the biotechs? I think it's the biotechs. Yeah. Well, we went over the IBB. If that's the biotechs, just tell me yes. Yeah, same thing. I mean, after that move up, I think it's turning around, going straight down again. If you were in this thing down here, take your profits. mean, that little sell-off here, we closed below here. We almost closed below this tail. We talked about the IBB earlier. We want to see some follow through tomorrow if you get below these lines. Oh, no problem, Ruben. If you get below the line here, you're gonna just stair step down. I wouldn't doubt if we go straight down just like we went straight up. I was hoping we go into double top on the IBB, but we did add some on the IBB. I'm waiting for 300. On this one, you would have been adding right up here too. Same thing. After this extended move, come on. That's just too far, too fast. I mean, it's 53.63. Was that 13 bucks, 14 bucks? Jeez. And then you're going to buy up here again? No way. It's like dry ships. It's moving up and you want to buy at 90? I mean, really? Just think someone bought that thing at 100 yesterday. They pulled it back. It was at 115 pre-market going, oh, it's going to be great. And then they halt it. Oy, that's just brutal. 65 minus 3.25%. Yeah, I think it was 3.25% down. Yeah, I think it's going down more. I think easily if you're short this one, I'd start covering around 62. If you get back down in here, around 50, 60 bucks, I'd cover another little bit more. And you get back down into here, I'd cover the rest here at 57. So cover here, cover there, pretty much at your points of support and see how it reacts. Now, if it stops here and goes sideways, sets up for the next downside, then you could probably wait to the 200 moving average. Something like that. But yeah, right now we're short the IBB, and you got to short biotechs when they shoot up like that. That's just what you got to do as a technical trader, guys. Costco starting to get a little bit of a bounce on an oversold condition. Yeah, because I know this one's been coming in. You have a gap here. I mean, look, gosh, that's a gap fill, right? Right. It's not on the money, but let's see if I can get it closer. Right about there. Look at that. Almost to the right there. And then bounces away. We're in a short Costco. We did cover half on here. Goes up a little bit more, maybe 200 here. This pivot, I'll probably add another short to this one. Like I said, we've covered, and we'll do it again. I don't care. We'll do it over and over and over for all I care. Goes up and down channeling. Awesome. Yeah, look at the sorrow. Did anyone hold that one with me? Anyone get this thing at the top? We talked about this high flyer. And yeah, they raped us a little bit, let me tell you. On this one here, this was like oh my gosh. But see, the volume was it wasn't going up on heavy volume. And look at the volume today. All the smart money distributing up here while they're pushing it up. Man, almost 152. I hope somebody. Costco looks like a big head and shoulder. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Nah, you got this pivot here. Nah, that's not good. There was one today. What? Gosh, what was I looking at? Was it Ralph Lauren? I think it was Ralph Lauren, RL. That was a flip. If this is the one, let me look. Yeah. Let's look at the monthly. You want to see a good head and shoulder pattern? I think this is the one. Come on, Ralph. Yeah, right there. That's a classic head and shoulder. Does not get any better than this. Here's my target, 85.14. Look where it went to. I mean, you just can't call it. When you have a good head and shoulder, and you measure it out, that was the target. You can't call it any better than that. So that when you can't with Costco, let's go to the bigger time frame. Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's not bad if it wasn't for this little guy here. I mean, I see what you're looking at. I just don't like, you got this, if anyone doesn't know, got the head and shoulder. But when you have, when you got this dip here, I mean, I guess you could do it here if you wanted to. So, I guess it's not bad. I just don't like this guy here. It kind of messes it up. But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then here's what you do, guys. You measure this to the neckline, then you take that point here, you take that right there, and there's your area where we're typically going to go to. Here, watch this. So let's put that in there. Let's see if there's any gap fills or anything over here. Let's just put it on there. That would be target. All right, so let's go into the daily. Let's see if there's a gap fill somewhere on the daily. A lot of times there is. It's pretty amazing how these charts play out. Where was it? Was it right? Hold on. Where was the target again? Monthly. Where's the target? 103.78 is the target. So 103.78. Maybe I didn't go far enough. Okay. Oops. All right, so let's look at one. So that's 103.78. I don't know what this. Let's see if there's a big gap fill or something there. Usually there is. It's so bizarre. That's why the symmetry, the markets, and the charts are so important. All right, getting closer. See if there's a gap or something there. Come on. Gosh, we got to go back. Oh, well, a pivot. Yeah, a little pivot right there. Nothing crazy. Sometimes there's a big gap window there, but there's your point. That's where this thing could possibly go. So just be careful. If this, not bad. I just don't like this little guy here. But yeah, I'll take it. I like it. Let's look at the weekly. Let's just see what it looks like on the weekly. Yeah, you could play it. Sure. Did we get over that high? Wow, look at that. Yeah, no, that's not bad. Just don't like this guy here. I don't like it going through price, but that was a freak show that day. We were short that day too. So yeah, I mean, honestly, let it retrace up here. We're short Costco. We took half off. If it comes back up here, we're shorting again. Comes back down in here again, we'll cover it again and let it bounce back. And if it doesn't, then it's going to break. Your first stop here is probably going to be 133, and you got the low pivot 117. And honestly, it could go to 104. Kind of scary because if the markets do sell, that's probably where this thing's going. Good call on that one. Yeah, I still don't like that, but if you took that guy, if you erase that out of there, boom, that's a great pattern. Like I said, look at Ralph. I was looking at this one the other day. I mean that was a great head and shoulder pattern too. Look at that. That's you can't ask for something. And then you go to the monthly, you can even see it strong. You can even see it better. Gosh, look at that. Boom, 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 and then bam. Look at this. Bearish, bearish, another bearish. They're trying to retrace it. If it closes above here, you might get higher. This is probably a fake out, and then they're going to drop it again. I mean, come on. When it was hitting 190, it was like, you really? You're kidding me with this one. Look at that run. I mean, it went from 31 bucks to frickin' 180. Come on. This whole market's done, guys. It's just a matter of time now. What was that? Tesoro we looked at. That was a good one. Goldman, we showed that one. That one I posted a couple times on Stock Twitch. Short it, short it, short it. Right here's your level. Right there's your level, guys. So far, so good. Hopefully we'll get another $5 out of this thing. We'll be out. But see how it came in? What did it touch? See how it came in? You had a gap right in here at 204.63. That's where it's holding right now. Actually, you had a little bit of a gap, but you had this first high pivot. So now that's going to be support. So that's what it's trying to hold right now. So now if this goes down sideways like this will be an inside bar pattern, setting up for possible lower prices. So keep an eye on that one if you're short that. We are short Wells Fargo as well. That one pulled back nicely. We added, then added a little more, and then it's pulled back last 2 days a little bit. So we'll see if we get more on that. Again, a parabolic move. Going to pull back. Someone asked me Bank of America if you could short that one. Yeah, I mean, you're at 20 bucks. That was your area. We talked about this one in the room the other day. There's a pivot right there. See if I can get to it. Yeah. Let's go on the weekly. I know it's there. Right there. You got it. Look. Kissed it. Boom, Shaka. Short that pig. And then a $20 even number, I think that's the end of the road too. But your typical guy doesn't look at technicals. You almost have a topping tail too. Actually, you might on the weekly. Let's see if we get a topping tail on the weekly. There'll be a lot of stuff to look at come Friday, guys. NVIDIA still being a bear. Price line, we took this one short, got out of that. That was just epic. They popped the shit up. 1,600, added more at 15,999, and right back down, covered for 100 bucks on the second half, or almost 100. Again, if you have 100 shares of this one, even 50 shares, 100 bucks, it's, on half, actually be 25 shares. If you had that, that's 2,500 bucks in a couple days. How the hell wouldn't you take that? Out to the next one. We had puts on this one too. God, I covered them early, and then this thing just dropped. Hindsight's a bitch, guys. X short, yeah, we shorted that one today. Got that right. We added short to this. If it goes up a little bit more, we'll be ready to roll. But yeah, we started a position short on this one today. You have to. I mean, after that, a move. We added today right around 20, 28 something. I don't know the exact number. And then 31.10 right in here. That will be the next. And then maybe 36. Go slow on this one, just in case. Maybe start here, maybe add at 35, maybe. But just know, if you're going to do like 500 shares, 100 here, 100 there, maybe I don't think it's getting up here, but I guess you never know. I might just stick with a couple hundred shares and then see what happens. I'm looking at probably, I don't know, maybe 1,000 shares on this one. It's still going to be a small position, but if it starts really moving up in here, then I'll move that up. But 1,000 shares for me won't, it won't kill me. But right now we added some here, and then we'll add more. Actually, I would add more than that, but just got to be careful with these, because they're $28 stock. If you do 5,000 shares or 10,000 shares of this one, they move it up 10 bucks, you're gonna get screwed. So for me, at least, I'm just going really slow on this one because it can move up, but it is parabolic at this point. Facebook, nothing to do on this one. We're short Facebook. We're short everything. We're starting to cover, so we're just waiting for a little more downside, and then we'll cover our position. And then longs, you got to wait for the markets. If the markets start to really tank, then we'll look for longs when the SPY hits some really good support. That'll be when we put on some longs. But Facebook, nah. If you're short, hold on to this one. If you're looking to go long, nothing yet on this one. Just enjoy the short, let it go down. But they rode it to the top, and now they're just taking care of business. Everyone, go to the monthly. It was a high flyer, extended from the 20 MA. I mean, it could honestly come down to 106.89, another 10 bucks, easily. And if then the markets start to sell, then we're going to stair step to these guys here. Pivot from here, this side to this side. Then you're looking at 109.83, 102.95, 87, and then it could possibly come right back down to 75. Who knows? Again, that's still early. We got to see what the markets do, and then take it from there. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for me today. I got to take off. I'm going to try to do some live stuff tomorrow intraday. I won't make a video tonight. This is the video that will be, unless I get on home. But I guess my feed goes in and out because I have Wi-Fi at home, so it's not the best. Subscribe to my channel. I think there's a message that gets sent out, or an email. I'm on StockTwits. If you want to go on my Twitter account, I have a bunch of swing trades on there. Just let me know. Oh, you're welcome, Isaac. You know me, man. I love to do this stuff. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, just give me your handle. Let me know who you are on StockTwits. So I, just trying to weed out the trolls. Had a guy the other day talking smack, and you talk shit, I'm blocking you. The bottom line, I don't have to do this crap. I'm doing this to teach people and show people what I see. And so far, so good, man. We've been banging out trade after trade. Netties was another one. I was begging people to short. Why would you short Netties? What are you, nuts? Oh, and this is for you new guys. This is what I follow during the day. I follow the 10-minute, the 60-minute, and the daily. This is what I trade on during the day. And then I just open this one up for my video purposes. But I mean, Netties, I was telling everyone to short. We're out our Netties position, but we shorted this one. I'm in a swing trade still, but our short-term account, I have two accounts, guys. Long-term and short-term. Long-term is more my swing account. I want to keep it separate because when I'm scalping stocks and taking short-term trades, I want that one separate from my swing trade account, because I don't want anything to get involved with that or take up more of my trading power, or not my margin, but my dollars in my swing account, because I always want to have some in the tank if there's one stock cranking up or cranking down. And my scalping account, you know, I want money in there too for all the time, for all the trades. That's why, like GS, I took that off on my scalping account, because you know what? I got $4 or $5 or whatever on that one. I'm out. Done. Take 1,000 shares of Goldman, you get $5. It's $5 grand, guys. You know, I know guys who take 10,000 shares of Goldman, you know, and make a killing. You know, if you're not selling for a, you know, $50,000 profit in 4 days, are you kidding me? Or 2 days? Actually, in 1 day with Goldman, you know, if you caught it at the top. But, you know, I'm a big believer, guys. If you're new in here, I take the money and run. I scalp stuff during the days. I will hold if necessary. I'm a swing trader, more short term. Long term, maybe if the markets, you know, really come down, then I'll maybe buy for maybe 4 or 5 months, you know, like on the SPY. You know, like if we get down into, before I go here, I got a couple more minutes, but if we come, let me pull up a bigger time frame. But if we somehow, somewhere, yeah, no problem, Brian. You're welcome, bud. You know, come down to 156, these double tops from the .com and the housing crash, you know, I'll be a buyer down here. I mean, I'm really waiting for the 136. I don't know if we'll get there, but you know, if these markets really come in, kind of like what they did here, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't rule out 137. I wouldn't rule out down at 106, to be quite honest with you. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens when the time comes and how this goes. But you know, when we get these lower pivots here around 180, that's not a bad area too. So, but you know, this is the point where everyone still buys the dip, and all of a sudden they just send it down on your ass, and you just sit there, you know, holding the bag. You know, kind of like dry ships. That's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. But again, if you want to follow me on Twitter, send me an email, stockbookie@gmail.com. Tell me your handle. Tell me who you are on StockTwits. You know, then I can try to figure out, you know, that I can keep some trolls. Would you short the VXX? You know, like play it like an option. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know. Hard to say. You don't want to wake up to a down 500 down day and that thing just spikes and kills you. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I know what you're saying though, because if the market, like how the market stayed those 3 months, the VXX was just depleting like an option. It's not a bad play, but you know, it's a 50-50. I mean, we could go into Thanksgiving, go into Christmas, and do nothing for the next 2 months, or we can have some real bad volatility, and then you're done on that one. You know, so hard to say. What is that? Megaphone Parton S&P will go to 555. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't rule out anything at this point, seriously. Well, that's why I say, I mean, we haven't touched the 200 moving average on the monthly in a long time, you know, since 2011. So it's just getting stretched, guys. And, you know, one thing, if you want to follow symmetry, you take this high, you take that low, you can take this one here, put it up onto, you know, up onto here. Look where that takes us, guys. You know, that could take us right there. I mean, really, that's where that fall is. That's where that fall was. And I mean, honestly, that's what it could do. I mean, that was from 2007. The low was in 2008. I mean, that that was a death spiral, guys. 10-1 at 2007. You know, a year and a half of just bloodbath. But see how you got the retrace, and then everyone went long again, and then they smashed them. But honestly, we could go to 138. You know, I don't know. I'm not gonna, you know, doom and gloom here, but you got to look at the market, see what the hell's going on. But you know, to keep going long up here and buying like Nvidia at the highs, the markets go down. It's all going down. Yeah, death spin, exactly. You want to catch that one, Brian? If you believe markets go down, then XIV short. Yeah, you could do that. You know, there's you could buy the SDS, you could buy the QID. You know, you can, you know, the T was a TWM on the Russell or TIM or something like that. Yeah, but you know, I believe they're going down, but I'm going to try to catch every bounce and every up and every down. I'm a trader. That's what I do. You know. But you know, like in my IRA, I do have the SDS more long term, you know, or the QID more, you know, I buy those a little more long term. I'm starting to buy more in my mutual funds, or when it was a 401k, but you know, I'll ride those down. Those are more of a buy and hold because I can't do too much in my, you know, IRA accounts. stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you got crap like this. Like I said, all of a sudden you wake up and we're just tanking, and everyone's scratching their head, going, "What the hell's going on here?" So it'll be interesting once Yellen comes out, does her thing next month, and then we'll take it from there, guys. All right, I got to run. Thanks for coming to the live sessions, guys. If you want to follow me on Twitter, just let me know your handle. Let me know who you are in the room, and give me your name and all that crap. Just trying to weed out the trolls. And StockTwits, of course, it's StockBookie, YouTube StockBookie, Twitter StockBookie, everything stock. I'm on Facebook too. I don't do a lot of stuff on there. I might do more because I'm actually linked on Facebook. I think I could punch up Facebook on my eSignal account now and post stuff. So I might do stuff on there, but mostly on StockTwits and Twitter. Just sent you a request, Andy. All right, is your name Andy on there, Andy? As long as you're Andy, I'll know who you are. Just tell me yes or no. All right, I'll go there right now. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Which one are you on Twitter? I don't see anything on there. Andrew Haynes? Oh, no, it's okay, Andrew Haynes. All right, hold on here. It didn't go through yet. Oh, there you are. All right. All right, dude, you're in. Yeah, just let me know who you are. If you want to come in, I don't have no problem letting guys in who comes to my stuff and wants to learn. So anybody else wants to come to Twitter, just let me know. Join a live chat or send me an email. Let me know who it is. Hey, no problem, dude. All right, guys. Hey, thanks again for coming to the live chat. I'm going to do hopefully one tomorrow, maybe Friday. Do the videos. I might do something on the weekend to see how many people I can get in here. Like I said, more eyes on the markets, the more trades we can get, and then go from there. But we did take this one too, JBT. Someone told us about this one. Pulled back one more before we go. JBT pulled back, still good. Oh, that wasn't the one here. The marijuana one. That one pulled back real nice today. We were talking about this 134 area. Look at that pullback. That was a nice one. Hopefully we can get another $5, $6, $7 and we'll be out of that one. All right, guys. Hey, have a great night. Thanks for coming to the videos. God bless. See you on the charts.